So there's really one more thing that I want to throw in here. You kind of already saw some of it. Um, we're going to extrude these things so that we can create more of like an interesting landscape or something like that. The reason I'm having you extrude it now is because on Thursday we're going to extrude it in 3 dimensions, and we're going to understand surface normals and focus a lot on vectors. But really, these 4 sets of surfaces are now going to be our operators. Okay, so everything we do is going to grow from these 4 sets of surfaces. And to be honest, I mean, like once you start to master this a bit more, you won't need these. I just put them in there. So, yeah.
We could delete the panels?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got rid of the panels. I just put the surface params in there so that you can see and select, and it makes it easier to visually see what those are. Okay, that's all. So with this information, you'll notice that some of the, this list right here says null. Null is basically just means it has an index value, but that index value has no information in it, right? It's just void of anything. That can actually be reduced. I never really do it. No. I never really bother with that. I think you have to... you know what? Let's not worry about that because I never really do it. Anyway, so these surfaces, what we're going to do is extrude them, but notice how we're in the top view, right? The top view is important because everything that we're going to extrude is going to happen in which direction? Up, right? Z. So when we go to surface and freeform and extrude, we need to put a base profile, curve, or surface, right? And then we have to provide a direction. Direction takes a format of vector, and vector has 2 primary components. What are they?
Direction, no.
XYZ.
Position.
Oh, magnitude and
Magnitude
Orientation.
and orientation, direction. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So it has direction and magnitude. Okay, that's very, very important. So in order to get that, well, I mean, we can start with this. So I'm going to take this set of surfaces and I'm going to plug it into extrude. Right? It doesn't do anything yet. But in order to get the direction, we need to create a vector and give it a magnitude. The vector, under the vector tab, under the vector panel, you can use these right here if you're operating on the world XYZ axes. Okay? Only if you're operating on the world XYZ axes. And I'm going to preface all of this by saying the only reason I'm using this here is because we don't really have an orientation or an architecture to build it off of. In the absence of, or in the presence of an actual architecture or context and position, you almost always want to build something off of a surface orientation. So using a surface's local plane or grid. Okay, so you'll kind of get what I mean when I start going on Thursday. But just know that these unit X, unit Y, unit Z's, they're pretty much like a temporary placeholder thing until it becomes real architecture. So anyway, I'm going to use unit Z. And you can plug that in. And it's going to start to extrude it. Let's look at it in perspective. Okay, that's what it gives us. And then this F value is the unit multiplication. Just how far is it going? So we can... You could do a slider or you could do a static number. I'll just do a slider from 0 to 5.0. And I did 0.0 just so I could do it with a degree of smoothness and it won't just go, like keep stacking up in foot increments. So now I can do this. Yes, I did.
Inside that big three.
So, with this, one of the interesting things now that we can do is just copy and paste this and change our settings for each one. So I can just take all three of these, copy paste, pull it down, paste, pull it down, paste, and pull it down. Now it looks crazy. It looks like I did a whole bunch of crazy things, but really, this is still plugged into all of them, and I don't want that. I can pull this one onto the second extrude, and it will replace the connection. Okay, so I don't have to go through and disconnect and do all that stuff. If I pull this surface on, it's just going to disconnect the other one. And then I do that for all four of these, and I've got all of my extrusions. The cool thing about these extrusions now is I can change how far they're extruding. I know it looks like a big blob up there. Let me kind of select two of them and so you can see. That helps so that you can see it, right? Green is easier to see on the projector, so. So that wasn't too hard, right? Okay, any questions so far? All right, let me see something real fast.